Hey everyone, welcome to part 1 of Primaries 2020. It is so exciting that we are finally here. So I have parts 2 and part 3 coming up. I didn't label them parts 2 or part 3. I'll say that in the actual video. But that's just because the primaries have been labeled a whole bunch of different things online, and I have been trying to clear them up, and I'll just post them as they go, and they explain what's happening in each of the actual descriptions and in the videos themselves. So anyway, primaries are here. It's very, very exciting. We already are in primary season. The Iowa caucuses have already happened, and we have primaries coming up in New Hampshire this month, as in February 2020, in Nevada, and in South Carolina. That's a really, really big deal. So primaries are already here in New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina. So I hope that you are registered to vote. So go New Hampshire, go Nevada, and go South Carolina. New Hampshire is supposedly supposed to just be the Democratic presidential primaries, and so is South Carolina. However, we know from experience, those have been moved up. So for example, the New Hampshire primaries used to be September 8th. That used to be the actual primary. All the primaries have been moved up all the way to before June. The presidential primaries, which used to carry out all the way until September, into September, used to be mashed into August. They've been moved up to before August, or to before June. All of them will be completed by June, most of them by the end of March. And so it's very, very different this year. So be on your guard, be ready. I'm going to include some links down below, but you need to really look at your county registrar and make sure that you are registered to vote this year. So we're going to clean the DNC, we're going to clean the GOP, and we are going to be on our guard at both the city council level, in our school district level. We're going to be there for our states, and we're going to be there for our federal, and we're going to be there for our president. So whatever you are, wherever you are, whatever you stand for, it is time to clean out the people that are loyal to the Queen and the 1%, and the people who drive modern day slavery around the world. It's time to replace them all so that America can at least be free, and once we're free, we can fight for the people of the world. So again, today we have, it's February 11th is coming up, New Hampshire's primary. Saturday, February 22nd is Nevada's Democratic caucuses, and then Saturday, February 29th is South Carolina's Democratic primary. And then Tuesday, March 3rd is like everybody. Everybody is on Tuesday, March 3rd. They are having something both GOP and DNC. So go ahead and take a look at your county registrar. Get ready to vote. Get ready. Check your dates now and see what's going on. Your county registrar should be able to tell you what's going on for your school board, for your city council, everything. Let's get going. This is the biggest year ever. It's time to have a revolution, and this is how we do it. It is time for our Brexit. Our Brexit from, they left the European Union. Remember, everything the European Union is what they've been passing at our local level. The European Union is no different than climate change. It's absolutely no different. The European Union, things that they were doing, the things that they were passing. You'll notice that when Nigel was talking about the things that told him that, boy, I better get this done. Every time the things that warned him is when he was talking to a German socialist who was saying we can get this done one of 50 ways. German Socialist Party, and that is who drove Agenda 21 that works at our local, state, and federal level. And so that's the same exact people are writing the exact same laws. The United Nations runs the EU, runs our politicians, the local state, the United Nations, local, state, federal level. And we're the only ones who have elections at the local, state, and federal level. So we're really lucky. We don't have to wait on some kind of parliament to say, oh, pass it, set us free. Parliament, please pass it and set us free. We don't have to do that as people. We actually get to do it ourselves. So go 2020. It's time for our Brexit from the European Union, from the globalists and nationalists and the slave drivers of the world. It's time for us to get the heck on out and get rid of the slave drivers that are from the ruling elite, from the Harvard and Ivy Leaguers of Rome. It's so very exciting. All right, I'll see you guys on next one on part 2 so you can hear more of the dates. So go New Hampshire, go Nevada. Oh, and by the way, in South Carolina, you can vote across. So even if you're a Republican, registered Republican, that's an open thing, which is the actual most democratic thing you can do is when it's open. So same thing with Alabama. When Tuesday, March 3rd comes, if you are a registered Democrat, you can actually vote in the Republican primary. Those are the best, is when it's open on both sides. I don't think primaries should ever be limited to, presidential primaries should ever be, any kind of primary primary should ever be limited to whatever party you registered with. I don't think anyone should have to be registered to a party at all. I think most Americans, when we have 60% of Americans saying they do not claim a party, but then they have to register for a party in order to vote in any kind of primary, I think that that is the most undemocratic thing ever. And I think getting new officials will help us change those sorts of things. Okay, love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Yay. Primaries 2020. We'll have our own Brexit. We need to come up with a name for it. What are we going to call it? The USA exit. The US exit. Let's go kind of Amexit. I'll have to think of something. Maybe I'll think of it and I'll post it on the title or something like that. I'll have to think of something, but it'll be our Freedom Run. It'll be our Freedom Run. It's our 2020 Freedom Run. Let's join the 2020 Freedom Run. Do you want to join our 2020 Freedom Run? Let's run towards freedom and freeing it up. So if on my list for the Freedom Run, I'd like to have no more minimum wage. I'd really, really love to have no more minimum wage, because every single person in this country who has a huge inheritance and a huge house, every single one of them grew up, had ancestors who grew up in a time where there was no minimum wage. They're able to get, you think about how many businesses that you could start up if you could. I would like to start up this next business. Do you know how many employees I'd like to hire, but I can't afford to pay them? I'd love to hire the kids along the street or whatever. I'd love to give them like a few bucks an hour to just help them like build jewelry or help me wrap packages or whatever and stuff like that. It would give them amazing work skills as kids and stuff like that. That's what I did. I got work skills because I became a babysitter, and I worked at like $3 an hour as a babysitter or whatever. I got all my job skills working as a kid. All that's outlawed now because of minimum wage laws. You can't get any kind of work and stuff like that. I would love to be able to, hire people, like maybe to say like whatever. There's just a ton of things but I have to start people at $15 an hour. I don't have $15 an hour to help me wrap a package because I'm not able to wrap a package very quickly. And so I could get things off the ground to you very quickly if I could afford to actually hire people, to come in and actually do everything, but we have minimum wage laws. That's not fair. Like, what about people who want to work voluntarily? We have laws against that. You have to have like licensing and everything like that. We have so many limitations on freedom. It's absolutely remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. Things that benefit the slave drivers, people on the outside countries. It's incredible. And then I'd love to have freedom to actually use our land. If you buy a piece of land, to be able to use it the way you want to. We did have environmental restrictions back in the 1800s. You couldn't like pour things down your land, the things that affected other people's land. But if you want to drill a small, tiny hole in it and get some gold out of it, you were at least able to do that. I think that that's just fine. We have tons of tunnel underneath. Tunnels everywhere that do a subway. We're doing great. Chicago has layers and layers of city underneath it. Chicago has tons of tunnels underneath it, and it survives just. They have city towers on top of it, and they've just got tons of cities. You would not believe what we are able to build. It's incredible. We are able to build incredible environments. We are able to tame the land. Very, very interesting. And we found out that our land actually dies. Anyway, there's so much I got to tell you. Anyway, have fun voting. Let's join the Freedom Run. Freedom Run. Run towards freedom. 2020. Woohoo! Vote. State, federal, local level. And have fun replacing everybody with people like you and me for fair representation. Freedom Run. Let's go. Fair representation. Freedom Run. That's what we call it. Fair representation. Freedom Run. Love you. Bye.